This is very exciting. It's taken me a lifetime to get here.
Lifetimes.
Lifetimes. And I'm actually here. This is very exciting. Wow. I have some questions, and I'd like you to tell me what you know.
We've got one answer, right?
I'd like you to tell me what you know I need to know. What is truth?
Truth is a word that humans have conjured in order to help them sort out what people should be doing. So truth is an illusion, because there's not one truth, because the path of least resistance that is the greatest advantage to you is not the same path of least resistance that's advantage to someone else. So truth in the truest sense of the word, truth in the way that humans really want to understand it, is that you are so good. You are absolute good. That is the truth. That is the truth, that if you let yourself go, that's where you will discover yourself to be. In the arms, wrong reference. In the energy, closer still. In the embrace, works all right, of what is good and what is new and what is whole and what is source. Truth feels like clarity, and truth feels like love, and truth feels like appreciation. And falseness feels like hatred. Falseness feels like meanness. Falseness feels like insecurity. Truth is alignment with all that you are. And there are various degrees of that you are all living, because there's all kinds of reasons that you hold yourself apart from that. Some of the reasons that you hold yourself apart from it is because somebody else is convinced you differently. A lot of the reasons that you hold yourself apart from it is just sloppy thinking or habit of thought. A lot of reasons that you hold yourself apart from it is having spent so much time not believing that someone like you could live the full essence of all of that it just doesn't make sense to you. But in time, in the moment that you make your transition to non-physical, you will know the truth of who you are. You will feel the wholeness. You'll feel the absolute perfection of all that you have lived. And so we have a better answer to a better question. How do I know when I am in the moment resonating with what I want to believe is truth? How do I know when I am really true to myself? And we say, you really feel good. You either feel interest or clarity or appreciation or love. You don't feel doubt or worry or grief or anger or revenge or insecurity or disappointment or disapproval or jealousy or. So you can tell when you are in the vibration of it. Can you hear what we're saying? Truth in the absolute essence of what we mean when we say it is utter alignment with who you really are. And therefore we would also say, as long as you're in your physical body, it's a bit fleeting. And it moves about a bit, just like you knew it would. You knew that you had to depart from it in order to feel the discord of that. You knew that you had to depart from the absolute knowing of your goodness and your perfection in order to reach for more. So you knew that you had to experience a little bit of that resistance contrast in the physical in order to ask for something that you couldn't have asked for if you hadn't experienced the absence of it. It's that stick that has one thing on one end and the other thing on the other end, wanted on one end and the absence of wanted on the other. You knew that some of what you would discover as wanted would come from discovering unwanted. And you said, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to experience this in order to put this into motion, because once this is launched, then source energy is experiencing the expansion too. And source energy will revel with me in me allowing that to come to be. Esther said when she first hooked up with us, oh good, now I can find out who's lying. There's a better question: who believes what they're saying? Now that's coming into question a little bit these days, because there's a lot of talk about what's the truth about this and what's the truth about this and what's the truth about this. And what we really want to say is there's not one truth about anything. There are a lot of ideas, and source energy is calling everyone toward their desire of that idea. But humans keep wanting to give away their position of creator, and they want to assign it to someone else who always knows the truth. It's like, tell me what's true and tell me what's right, and I'll do my marching toward it. And we say, that's not who you are. You're not a regurgitator, you are a creator. So we have some things we want to say to all of you. You don't need to worry ever about someone being so selfish that they always reach for alignment with what feels good. You don't need to worry about them doing harm to the environment or to anyone, because it's not possible to be of disadvantage to anyone when you're in alignment with who you really are. And so we want to call alignment with who you really are that truth that you're reaching for.
There are two sayings about truth that I find conflict. The truth shall set you free, and then he who tells the truth shall surely be hanged. In my experience, as a child, was told the truth will set you free.
Well, both of those things are true, aren't they? They're contradictory and they're both true. And here's why. So tell us the first one.
So the first one, for example, is a child...
Just say it like it was. Say it like you just said it to us. The truth shall set you free.
The truth shall set you free.
Well, the reason, even though it's hard to say, the reason that the truth shall set you free is because in alignment with who you are experiencing the absence of resistance, and that is as free as it gets, because it is only resistance that binds you. So that is an absolutely true statement. And what was the other one?
He who tells the truth shall surely be hanged.
That's true too, because the first one is from the upper half of the emotional scale. The second one is from the lower half of the emotional scale. And what it's saying is, if I speak something that is not in alignment with what this person who thinks they are in power holds, then in my pushing against that, they will push back against me. That's the way the law of attraction is, isn't it? So can both things be true? Absolutely, both things can be true, because the law of attraction is responding to whatever your position is.
So what I learned as a child was if I told the truth, I would be punished. So I learned to lie.
Yeah, you learn to tell the truth they want to hear. But then you're not free. So that truth didn't set you free. So you gave up true alignment and love for a false freedom. That's what we're talking about calibrating to humans or calibrating to who you really are. The truth shall set you free. Alignment with your inner being takes some practice, and you get better and better at it. And the more you do it, the less resistance you have, and the less resistance you have, the more free-flowing you are, and the more of a cooperative component you are to everything that matters to you. Isn't that so nice? Isn't that so nice? That's what you're reaching for. And then you see someone else who wants you to speak a different truth, because they're still in this place where they haven't discovered resistance-free alignment. They're still messing around in this physical world where they're trying to get their power from numbers or from... This is the best way of explaining it. Let's talk about heaven and hell. This is the best way of explaining this. So people say, Abraham, so there must be a source of evil because there's so much of it around. And we say, not a source like the source that you think of is God or goodness. It's like looking for the source of the absence of the light. There's no source of the absence of a light. There's no source spewing inky, misty darkness. There's just the light that is being allowed or not allowed. And so the same thing with what you want to call good and evil. There's no source of evil. It's just not allowing the stream of well-being that is flowing all the time. But every thought that has ever been thought still exists. And the law of attraction gathers those thoughts into sort of streams that are very compelling. So when you get focused on something unwanted and then you join conversations about it and you push hard against it and you feel that awfulness of losing the life force because you're not replenishing yourself because you're pushing so hard, it feels like surely there must be someone that is doing this to me because I would not do this to myself. And we say, everyone is doing everything to themselves because no one can think for you. No one can be your point of attraction. And your guidance system is letting you know. So it's a hard sell to get people to be nice enough to themselves to feel good more of the time. Esther early on was talking to us about something, and we were giving her this understanding, and she said, Abraham, I think you need more information about this person. She just felt like if we really understood that then we would join her in that thought And she had come far enough with us to know that the discomfort that she felt at any time was because of the discord or the gap between us. So she thought maybe it might be nice if we just join her over here, which is not ever going to happen. With any of you, your inner being is never going to join you in pushing against anyone for any reason, because that's not who Source is. Source is uplifting and looking forward. Source understands that someone may be in a terrible place of pinching themselves off from Source, but Source sure isn't going to go over there like other humans do and try to fill the gap with something. In other words, you have to fill your own gap with your own truth, with your own alignment to your own love and your own clarity and your own well-being. Yeah?
How can you tell? How can I tell if someone is telling me the truth?
You know, it really doesn't matter, because they could be lying to you and you could know it and you could be feeling awful. So you're using their lie to keep you from being who you really are. You're using what you've decided they are to be your justification for not being who you are. I've decided to deprive myself, and it's perspective anyway. You don't get to decide any of that. We know that it seems like there are facts and that there are those truths. We get it. But we're talking big picture here. Here's a really easy way to look at this. When you give somebody the benefit of the doubt, you're the one who receives the benefit first. And so you really don't want to run around and collect a bunch of information about how bad people are, because once you gather up your marbles about all this that you want to push against, you've just set yourself up for a whole lot of tug of war between you and your inner being, who will not do that. And that's when Esther says, you need more information. Abraham, you need more information. If you knew what I know, then you would not be mad at that pilot for cheating me out of 20 minutes of flight. And we say, you cheated yourself out of the flight.
I have one more question.
Yeah. We have no more time, so we'll...
Oh, we don't?
It's all right, we'll take it quickly.
How much is enough?
Well, this is a trick question for this reason. If you are in alignment with who you are, there's never enough. That's why you are eternal. But a lot of people ask that question, meaning, I put up with all this stuff that I can't bear anymore. When should I just walk away from it? When have I taken enough abuse that I should just not put up with that? And we say, oh, you should give that up immediately. The slightest bit of discord from your inner being is enough. But you have to come to be sensitive enough to your guidance system to know that. A lot of people really believe that there is gain in pain. So they're willing to put up with things until they come to the realization, because the law of attraction won't yield to them the gain they're looking for in the pain. But you have to get good at discerning what real pain is. And what real pain is a disallowing of something that you've asked for. If somebody you don't know calls you on the telephone and says, hello, you don't know me, I'm just calling to tell you I will never call you again, you would not feel pain. And you would not say, this is enough. It would just be a nothing burger. You wouldn't care about it at all. You'd say, all righty then, thanks for letting me know. But if someone you care about says, I'm not going to see you or speak to you ever again, you would feel the discord of that. So what's the point we're making? When there is a strong desire, the absence of it pinches harder. You just have to figure out what your desires are. You are an uplifter. And when you are not uplifting, you feel pain. You are a lover. And when you are not loving, you feel pain. And you can justify it in whatever way you want. You can give all the reasons that you should not love that or this or that or those. But when you are not loving, you are depriving yourself of something that you really want, that you were born wanting, and that every day of your life you showed yourself you wanted it. Because when you didn't feel love from someone, you ask for more. And when you don't love, when you're not loving, you want to be more loving. Life is helping you sort it all out. You just got to figure out how to utilize your guidance system to know which end is up, yeah? We've enjoyed this interaction more than any that has ever come before. You are powerful in your attracting, and lots of good things happened here today. And there is no homework. And don't try to explain this to anybody. Pay attention to what you're gathering up. And the bag of marble idea might really help you. It's really helping Esther. And just have fun with this. There's nothing serious going on here. You are supposed to be joyful and your inner beings are, and they're calling you to the fun and the clarity and the prosperity and the wellness. Just go with them. There's great love here for you.